The people are identified with Yahweh now. They are standing still at Mount Sinai, and then something absolutely extraordinary happens that we preachers won't preach on because it's too boring and it doesn't make sense to anybody, but we don't think about it properly. They're to create the tabernacle. Goody, we can make big, rich buildings and we can have secret places and sacred sites and all of that. No, 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 no. If you look at the floor plan of the tabernacle, and we get it twice, we get the anticipations of it and all of the preparations for it, and then we get chapters 30, 31, and 32, the golden calf incident, and then we get the actual making of the tabernacle in chapters 33 through 40. If you look at the floor plan of the tabernacle and you go archaeologically to the tents and the way in which typical tents are structured for Bedouins and others, the life of the people happens outside in front of the structure. The structure itself in these tents that the Israelites are living in would have basically two parts. There'd be a front part in which they would have sort of family times and intimate relationships with friends. And then there would be the back part, which would be the sacred space for sleeping and doing other things that humans are wont to do in the dark of night. So there'd be a movement of even the lifestyle of people according to how a tent and the outer spaces structure it. The tabernacle is not some kind of mystical building that has unique and unheard of dimensions before. It is just a kind of gigantic tent, exactly like the rest of the Israelites would be living in. In other words, it's a home. It's a home on this 40-year campout. They don't know yet that it's going to be a 40-year campout, but it's going to be a 40-year campout, and they've got to live somewhere. They live outside. That's the way the elements, the climate allows them. They live outside, but in their intimacy with eating for the family and being and having conversations with close friends, they're in the front part of the tent, and when they're sleeping and doing other things, they're in the back part of the tent. There you have the structure of the building that God says. A little bit more fancy, a little bit more to do about it, but it's nothing that's sacred in the way that we typically think of sacred and mystical. It's very basic stuff. It's the stuff of human society, which will become extremely important when we get into the next part, into Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.